Hey, my name's Sam Vaught. I'm a senior at Roncalli High School. I compete cross country. I also run track and field. I'm sectional and regional champion, school record holder in the mile. Been to state in the 1600, and I was also in state this past cross country season.
So between the two, which is your favorite?
I think I like track a little bit more.
Right answer. That was the right answer. you you'd have said cross country, you'd have been like, oh, this is over.
Right. Like,
No,
see you later. See you later. What?
we're just kidding. Just kidding.
How did you become interested in both cross country and track?
So one of my family friends was the coach at my middle school, and he invited me to come out and kind of just fell in love with it. So yeah.
Which do you think is your stronger event? In terms of cross country, I know you're at 3.5 miles or 3.1 miles, and then track, the most you're gonna get is 3,200. Which
Right. Yeah, I think I'm built for the mile. I've been blessed with some leg speed, so I think I'm a miler, but I can do distance as well. So yeah.
Do you run the 8 also?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd
Well,
be like 1,500 runner in college, possibly.
yes.
Possibly, yeah.
I love that. He's like, don't say that out loud while college coaches are watching.
No, he's good. He's good to go there.
Right. Right. He does all of that. He got a lot
Right.
of stamina. So, so Sam, what's been your most memorable moment, excuse me, from competing?
Probably say probably winning regionals last track season in the 1600. There were some good competitors there. I just really wasn't going into it. I just wanted to qualify, and I found my way at the last 100 meters, able to win it, and I did. So it was just a blessing. So yeah.
That's nice. You had one of those movie moments.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you say you have that speed, and that's really
Yeah.
Yeah.
good.
You had the
Yep.
announcer hype. Like, hey, coming down the stretch. So would you say that would be like your well, okay, I'm gonna say this because that reminds me of the guy who ran 1,500 for the Olympics.
Yes.
The guy from
Yeah.
IU.
Go Harker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yep.
I'm not gonna put this on you, but would he happen to be one of your favorite people
He
in the
is one of my
sport?
favorite athletes just because he's from Indiana. And yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that
So,
just brought that memory back for me. Who
Yep.
else do you like? Who else inspires you in the sport?
I like Sydney McLaughlin. She's really good. I also like Jakob Ingebrigtsen,
mhm.
the
Okay.
Norwegian. So yeah.
What about those people do you like?
Sydney's just, I mean, she's a stud. I mean, she's nobody can touch her in the 400 hurdles, and she can also beat pretty much anybody in the four and open 200 as well. And Jakob's just so versatile. It's inspiring. So yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're on that path too, with how
I'm
versatile.
trying to be.
Okay.
What would you say is the most challenging aspect of track?
Say just battling with your emotions. I think there's a lot of ups and downs in the sport. I think just staying level headed, especially before competition, is just really good. Just staying calm and collected, and then just going out there and performing,
Mhm.
and just knowing you've done the work.
And have you always been like that, just level-headed, or how have you kind of honed in on those
It
things?
definitely took some experience, but I've gotten pretty good at it the past couple of years. So
So, and that means you handle disappointments quite not well. You
yeah,
handle them better than most, then I would assume.
yes, I've failed quite a bit, but yeah,
So, hey, so did Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
yep,
and, as well as Tiger Woods,
yep,
and anybody else who was
yep,
great. They failed several
yep,
times, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you learn from it, which is what
right,
makes you
yep,
great, right? That's all anybody remembers anyway. Is the good stuff. They don't remember any of
right,
the failures.
yeah, yep.
So, well, good. So you're able to put these things into context. So knowing that you can do that, how do you prepare mentally for like a big meet? Like, how did you prepare for regionals? You said you wanted to qualify, but did you like
Right.
see yourself winning? Or like, how do you prepare
Uh,
like that?
I definitely vision myself. I vision like all the possible outcomes I think will happen, whether it's so I vision myself winning, I vision myself, qualifying, and then I vision myself not qualifying and just like going over those emotions before the race and just like visualizing before going into the meet and just realizing all the possible outcomes, I think just keeps me calm and then just ready for anything that happens, whether it's good or bad during the race.
So, what would you say? You mentioned a little bit about what some of your short-term goals is for the season. Can you expand on that and also tell us what your long-term goals are in the sport?
I mean, I obviously want to compete collegiately during track in college, and I also want to keep competing cross country in college. And right now, just see where that takes me. Short term, I just want to keep continuing training. I'm starting to build back up right now, and I definitely want to go back to that state meet and hopefully get a state championship to my name. So yeah,
It sounds like you're a hard worker.
Yes.
Um,
I I try to be, yeah.
well, okay, well, let me ask this. Talent versus hard work. Which do you choose and why?
Hard work for sure. I think hard work. I think there's just saying that Kevin Durant said, hard work beat talent when talent fails or work hard. So I kind of just keep that in mind and live by that every single day.
Okay. Now, what, in terms of values or characteristics, what have you learned from, or what do you think is important characteristic to have or value to have as a track and field athlete?
Definitely discipline. I think discipline goes a long way, not only in track but in life. I think you have to the disciplined ones are the successful ones in life. So I think just developing those habits and doing the things that you might not want to do, but you do them anyways, and that'll help you out in the long run.
Okay.
How would you discipline is big? How would you say being an athlete has shaped who you are? Like,
Yeah, I think running track and field has changed my life just for the better because it's taught me so many life skills and like so many things to balance. Like there's a balance in life along with track. So I mean, just balancing all those aspects and learning to like work hard and just trust yourself and trust your coaching like helps me in all aspects of life, like in school and just life in general.
Now, with that balance and adjusting all those things, how do you handle like balancing the academics with the sports?
So I mean, I'm definitely a little imbalanced, more towards the track side than in school, but I mean, just remembering to, study every once in a while for those big tests coming up. But yeah,
I see. I
so you
see.
sound like someone that is able to remember what you're learning in class.
yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't sound like you're struggling. So while you
No,
understand the importance, you're being very transparent
yeah, just
and
trying to
recognizing
understand.
that it's important.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So, how have your parents been involved in your journey in cross country and track and field? What role have they played in supporting
Yeah.
you?
And they're a huge role. I mean, I couldn't do it out without them. They're such big support. I mean, my support system is really good and they provide me with all like the necessary tools, whether it's food, nutrition, running shoes, go through a lot of those. So yeah, they're just here for me and they respect everything I'm doing and they want the best for me. So blessed. Yeah.
I always like to shout out the parents. So, if you want to shout out all the parentals that support you, shout out their names.
My dad's name is Jeff Vaught and my mom's name's Kelly Vaught. So yeah.
All
Shout
right.
out those.
Right on. I'm glad you're appreciating all of their sacrifices that they make for you. Um,
Yes.
so they've been along this journey with you, uh, and I'm sure they've taught you many lessons. What would you say is probably one of the biggest lessons your parents have taught you with you being involved with sports, or something they taught you that you carried over into sports?
Staying humble in every aspect of my life. I think not only does my parents teach me that and have raised me that way, but that's what God wants out of all of us is to stay humble no matter how much blessing he gives you, just staying humble and being respectful and nice to everybody else around you.
Now, you sound like you're a person you train hard, right? So, and it may
Yes.
get rough from time to time. How do
Mhm.
you mentally keep it together during those rough workouts?
Mm-hmm.
I think going to church every week is a big part for me. I not only does it just help me spiritually, but I don't know, it's easy to talk to God and just, feel relaxed in church. And also just every day on my runs, kind of like a form of meditation, especially on just the easy runs. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Awesome.
that's a good one.
Finding the meditation. I love it. You
Yep.
look, you got to recharge. And so that's
Yep.
really important. How do you celebrate, right? How do you celebrate your achievements? I mean, there's definitely a component of being humble, and I can attest. Like I think I would just love to see a humble athlete who knows how good they are, but is still able to be a good competitor and a good teammate. So, how do you celebrate in those moments where you have those victories?
So, I mean, I haven't done a ton of celebrating, especially since, regionals was just the stepping stone towards state. So, I mean, celebrating is important, but I also think it could be a distraction in some way. So, I mean, I don't do a ton of it, but I also recognize, and be grateful that what just happened in my life was a great thing. And, I look back on that and think about it. So, yeah.
I mean, that's being that you're a humble person. How do you view your competitors? Like, what is that like for you? Like, how do
Um,
you see them?
I mean, I'm humble towards them, but I want to, destroy them when I'm competing against them.
Okay, I'm
So,
just checking.
I love it. The fire in your belly is quiet on the
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And I always thought, because you seem like you're laid back, you seem like you're quiet. And
Yeah.
we're both the same way. So that's why we're like, I'm always curious. Like, no, you're not saying much, and nobody knows really what's happening in your head. So
Right.
Yes.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
Kind of flying under the radar. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that word destroy them. So when they see you, they're like, "Oh, he's so humble. He
right.
left
Right.
competing," but in your head, you're like, "Good luck," but I'm about to get on
Yeah.
his
When that gun goes off, it's all game. So, yeah.
So what would you say? You've been getting coached for a while here. You're a senior.
Right.
What was probably the most valuable piece of information you've received from a coach, or piece of
Um,
advice, anyway?
Definitely trust the process, especially in distance running. I think it's not always linear. I mean, there's ups and downs in all sports, but in distance running, it's not always linear. I mean, there's injuries, sickness, setbacks, and I think just staying, level headed and being able to fall back on your support system is really important. And he's just told me to trust the process. I mean, I've done all the work and it's all out of my hands. All I have to go do is compete and show what I've done. So yeah.
Okay.
So even in trusting the process, how do you maintain your physical health or work to prevent injuries as much as possible?
Yeah, so again, my parents are really good about diet. I mean, I'm really abstinent about what I eat and they're about that too. So that's one of the things is nutrition, also hydration. But I think the most important sleep. And I also do like some ice baths and recovery tools, massaging. But I think the biggest one's sleep and just making sure you're recharged.
Hmm.
Okay. Shout out to the parents again for making sure that you actually eat and you're eating the
Right.
right
Yeah. Yeah.
things.
Just getting
Share
enough
with the viewers
proteins.
what are some of the things that they help ensure you like what do they feed? What are some of the things you eat to maintain that health?
Uh, I'm a big chicken and rice, beef and rice, steak. I love fruit. So, and then I also kind of force down some vegetables here and there as well. So, yeah.
You can put it in a smoothie. It'll be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get those vegetables in, fellas. You'd be
Right. Yep.
surprised at how they help. Especially with the distance running too. You could use
Yeah.
those, but it's a
Yep.
complex carb. It'll help you out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about being on the team?
I just love being around the team and being a part of a team. I mean, I know track's sort of an individual sport, but just like everybody supporting you. I think track and field and like running, like the supporting from the fans is just like it's not just like one school supporting you, it's everybody in that stadium or like indoor facility you're in. So yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about that with many of coaches about how it's just like one big family. Like
Right.
you can be
Yeah.
competing against people, but everybody loves to see a great performance.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what
Right.
team you're on. It's like, oh yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
that's that guy.
Yeah.
You definitely want to see a good race. So that's
Yeah. Yep.
What would you say makes you a great teammate?
yeah.
I think just not being afraid to like tell them if somebody's messing around during practice or like they're not putting in the work or they're just like talking when the coach is talking, just not being afraid and telling them, get together, whatever it is, and telling them that some people actually want to be good in this sport and they don't want to. I don't want them to be a distraction towards others on our team. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. How do you feel your teammates have received that, right? I mean, because stepping up, it sounds like a natural born leader and being able to help others kind of hone in and respect
Yeah,
program?
so I think the ones that want to be good at the sport and want to do the sport respect it and listen to me, but the ones that don't kind of just laugh it off. But I mean, that's just part of the sport, part of high school. So whatever.
Well, let's you're a senior.
Yep.
I would assume, and I would say it's safe to assume that you'll be running in college. Now,
Yeah.
everybody who goes to college, they're gonna work hard. But
Yep.
what's gonna be the golden nugget that makes you different?
I think I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be the best. I'm willing to work harder than everybody, and I think I think I don't get distracted easily, and I think I'm just focused on becoming the best version of myself and not focusing on others and what they're doing.
If you could give advice to athletes who are either currently running or interested in running track or cross country, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to definitely do it, but I'd also tell them that it's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And if you really want to be good at it, it's going to take a lot of time and sacrifice to be good at it.
Speaking of sacrifice, do you feel you had to sacrifice anything for this?
Uh, yeah, I definitely think I've sacrificed, like hanging out with my friends or whatever, going out on the weekends, but I wouldn't change that for anything. So
Now, if you can compete in any other sport, what would it be and why?
it'd be baseball. I played travel baseball for 10 years growing up. I played the summer of going into freshman year, and then I chose running ultimately. So yeah, I think it'd be baseball.
What made you give it up? Baseball is where the money at. Didn't some guy just sign an
Yeah.
$800 million contract?
I just the cross country coach. I was also going to football tryouts during cross country. I was doing both that one summer going into high school, and then I knew I could. Coach told me and my parents told me that I might have a chance to make varsity as a freshman, and then I did. So I just chose running from there on out.
Oh, so you found that thing that you're good at, and you were like, "I'm gonna
Yep.
stick with
Right.
this, and we're gonna make this a
Yep.
go."
Yep.
And I always wonder, like when people, especially if they haven't been running since they were younger, it's like they get involved, and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm okay at this. Oh, okay, and then it just
Yeah.
turns into something. As we had a athlete we spoke to before, and they were like, they came to track because it was a PE waiver.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like in her second year running, she's got a state medal. And she's like, this is the
Yep.
first year I've been to state. I got a medal. And she could have had
Yeah.
first place. Well, she almost had a first place. It was almost a state
Yeah.
champion. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, from a PE credit, that's
Yeah.
it's long, short journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Huh.
I was going to say, speaking of, I mean, you've done baseball, it sounds like football and track. So if you could change anything about the sport, right? Like Coach talked about baseball. Whoa, that's like it's money. What would you change about the sport if you could change it?
I think just the platform and perspective of it, I think more publicity would be the best thing for the sport just to get eyes on it.
Because you needed to do everything,
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's for
literally
sure.
every sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, and tell me about like technology. How does that play a role in your training and your
I'm on social media, but I mean, I haven't posted. I don't post really anything, but I mean, I like to see the results and I'm a kind of a nerd about track times and stuff. So I definitely am on it. And I think it's good for the publicity side of the sport for sure.
do you use any different technologies like in your training? Like I know most distance
I
runners
have,
have the
yeah,
Garmin watch or
I use Koros. So Koros watch and that Koros app after every run, I see just like the details of whether it's heart rate, elevation, cadence, stride, whatever it is. Yeah,
that tells you all that. I never heard of that.
it does. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. We need the information on that.
All right. Not that I'm gonna run any distance, but I mean
No,
that's
not
just
at
I
all.
think that's
Just
cool
other
that it can
athletes.
show you cadence and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh, well that's a good one to have.
Yeah.
You've competed in two sports, cross country and track. So you get two different weather systems, right?
Right.
What's the
Yep.
worst weather you've ever competed in?
Mm.
One year, probably during cross country, it was just a regular season meet. It was at Shelbyville, 30 degrees probably, pouring down rain, windy, sideways during the race. Probably the worst I've ever done. Yeah.
Mm. Wow.
Mm. I just remember
Well,
during
Yep.
track season, it snowed in April. I do remember
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm always curious.
Right. I used to do cross country in my heyday before high school, and then I got faster. But in cross country meets when it was snowing, we would put socks on our hands. And
Yeah.
when it's
Yep.
cold, I mean warm, you would just
Yeah.
cross
Yep.
Hmm.
them off. 20 degrees, that's
How do you think like your being involved in track and field is how do you think that's preparing you for college, for future? What do you see that how do you see that as an advantage for you in moving forward?
Yeah, I think it teaches you like time management skills and also just like the discipline side of things, doing what you don't want to do, but doing it like you love it anyways. But yeah, definitely time management for sure. Just balancing the school and athlete life, even though it can be hard at some points.
Now, if people wanted to keep up with you, follow along, I know you said you don't post much. Is there a place they can follow you, or should we just you'll send them to us and we'll keep posting you?
yes.
Like,
I mean, you can follow my Instagram. I mean, I'm on that. I don't post a lot, but just here and there. Yeah.
well, what's your Instagram handle?
It's all lowercase Sam underscore Vaught, Vaught.
All right, we'll get that together. Make sure we have that for people to come check you out and see how things are going.
Yep.
We
Right.
look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you this season. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank
Yes,
you for
thank you
having
so
me.
much. Thank you, Sam. Good luck this
Thank you.
year.